Hey folks, Jim from Slick Cyber Systems. I'm here with Chris and Steve, and we're going to be talking today about, this is a bad actor thing. This is nastiness at its finest in 2025. It's called phishing as a service. I mean, phishing as a service. You know, software as a service is phishing as a service, meaning that bad actors can actually go in and sign up for these phishing as a service sites and literally create programs that are like crazy.
We all use different platforms, like Salesforce is a platform, and there are other things that you get into that are, you know, maybe specific to an industry, like the platform you get into to do whatever you're doing. And that's what essentially they've done. These criminals have created a platform.
A global platform, mind you.
Where they're selling they're taking the stuff that they steal, and they're also selling it to other criminal organizations.
But it's even beyond that, though, Chris. Yeah. I think the point of this one is this is giving bad actors the ability
that's what I'm saying.
to capture so they can sell, and they take a portion of the money.
Yeah. So it's like a big
big
platform.
Yeah, it's huge. So I mean the ones that I'm specifically am targeting today, just because they've been in the news a lot lately, is Lucid, Darkula, Lighthouse. Yeah. Darkula and Lighthouse, but Lucid is kind of the grand scheme of things. They're the national. Now these are all, by the way, all Chinese-speaking threat actors. So we say that it's pretty much originating from China. Again, I have nothing against the country, or the people of China, but when you're doing this kind of stuff, you're out there.
It's obvious there's large organized criminal activity that their government isn't stopping. That's part of the big reason.
It's organized crime for sure. So, and what, the thing they're doing is, I mean, these are large scale phishing campaigns, global phishing campaigns. And it's really, I think one of their biggest breakthroughs isn't email phishing, it's SMS, you're texting, text, right?
RCS, yeah.
So, well, in the Android world, it's RCS, and iMessage is the Apple iOS world. So they've been able to bypass, using the technology they've done, using RCS and iMessage in particular, because those technologies bypass the carrier. Yeah. They go directly to the phones themselves. Yeah. So these folks have like massive quantities of phones, in like on like a wall.
Yeah, super banks of hundreds or thousands of, literally, you look at online, there's telephones, like as if you had like little shelves, like you're displaying all your little your
books,
or the old
VHS tapes,
your pop art, or one of those other things. They're literally shelves, like walking into an old.
It's just tons of, and all they're doing, they're controlling those phones, and all they're doing is sending this stuff out to try to capture this data. But it's just crazy, because you got to understand when they're using RCS and iMessage, they're completely bypassing all the carrier blocking. Mm-hmm. They're bypassing the spam filtering, that happens, in 99% of the things. But the carrier blocking, I mean, if it went through the traditional SMS, right, with a smishing, I think that's called.
Smishing, yeah.
Then you're actually going through the carrier, which is coming back through.
And then the carrier sniffs it or sees that and trends, and then they squish it.
And they squish it, or once they learn about it, because it's part of their duties, they squish it immediately. But this now has bypassed all that. And so all your traditional spam filters and your, the carrier, I'll call it the carriers or the carrier blocking, they've completely bypassed all this stuff. It's insane, that how radical these idiots are.
Not only is it radical, it looks like the real thing when they're like. A lot of them come through as like the United States Postal Service messages.
Well, all the post offices globally.
Yeah.
I mean, they're literally.
But I'm saying just using that for instance for us.
For USA.
Comes through as USPS, not UPS. United States Postal Service.
Yep.
It is identical to what the actual page looks like. Yeah. It's not kind of like it, it's identical.
It's identical. And they're doing the same thing with UPS, FedEx, DHL.
Yeah.
I mean, the list, I looked at the list today of just the common ones, and it was, I don't know how many pages long, 20-odd some pages long.
You had said something like toll system too.
Oh, I get the toll ones every
day. Yeah.
Message.
the heck is that thing we put in our car?
Yeah.
You know, the
I forget that
oh
stupid
my
thing's
God.
called.
Yeah, but the only thing that give those away is it comes from a number like +44 or something like that.
Well, if you see that, but you don't always see that. You know, like, you know, in iMessage you don't always see that because they could be spoofing.
Yeah.
They could be spoofing that
The
name
only
too.
thing you can teach people to do is, if you get something like that and don't trust it, if you know the
Easy
phone
fix.
number for them, call them up and find out.
Well,
Don't use the number that's on the webpage
Or the links.
or the links.
Easy Pass is what
Yeah,
we're
Easy Pass.
thinking of for the, yeah. So I mean, it's kind of the biggest
If you
thing.
don't trust the email or message, delete it.
Well, just don't trust most.
First of all,
automatically.
First of all, you know, we're really targeting the focus here isn't email at all. It's SMS, right?
Yeah,
it's you know your
Text.
your phone stuff.
Block it.
Quite honestly, I don't know how many I get in the course of a day. And you'll see videos on some of the social media platforms. If you get these, your data's been hacked. No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. That is not necessarily true. Your phone numbers are not private where they're never published. These guys are going through banks and banks of numbers. That's not the case. It just isn't.
Well, they're getting a lot of the data from data breaches or real organizations.
Absolutely.
So they're gathering the data first there.
They bought them all from Google.
Yeah.
There you go.
They bought them all from AT&T.
Well, again, I'm, you know, obviously we kind of suspect it underneath, but it's not fact. We don't have proof to be able to talk to that, you know, on a camera, but we suspect that's happening or has happened many times in the past. But the bottom line is, if you get something, you know, as a text that comes in, and it's just kind of out there, you know, like, just delete it and mark it as junk, you know, and chances are
Block it.
your phone might or it might not. Well, it's going to come from a different number next time, so it just
keep
doesn't
blocking
matter. Yeah, you'd say that.
I mean,
but
after your phones, some of them, especially the newer ones, have AI built into them that will start learning it,
really cutting edge, Steve.
and it'll ask you whether you want to call this spam. Yeah, I want to report it as spam and block it.
Yeah, so you know, the point being is you know, the devices are so smart, but these blankers.
The scary part is that they've created a platform, much like, and again, like Amazon has a platform for selling things. It's not obviously Amazon doing this, but like Amazon has a way for people to be a vendor and sell things on Amazon's platform. They have a platform to sell the ability to others to use it so they can monetize those phone numbers, and they all get paid doing it.
Once they create a breach,
Yeah.
they get paid. Yeah, so it's just amazing that, to me, I mean, don't you have anything better to do with your life?
Can't we use it against them? Can't we buy into that service and then start using it against them?
I don't know how you're going to do that, because deep in the bowels of that stuff, unless you are beyond good, because these folks are obviously really good.
These are full-time criminals. Yeah.
You're targeting yourself for. This is true FBI, CIA kind of shit. You know, this is not normal stuff. This is not any small customer can pick that, you know, or entity could pick that up and say, oh, you know, I want to go after. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some great white hat groups that would do wonderful with these people, and they are. I mean, I watch a lot of them. It's phenomenal. I love to watch them take down these call centers and stuff. But this is beyond a call center. This is just a step sideways of the call centers, and they're not in, you know, Mumbai or wherever.
It's China.
You know, in India. This is China all the way.
These are probably threat actors.
But the scary part is your true threat actor is not just them. It's the people that are subscribing to that service to be able to do it. So this is a two-tiered deal.
Yeah.
Right. You have the vendor and now the idiot, you know, that's doing the bad stuff, the work. So it's like they've. It's a drug lord that has drug dealers, you know. It's like, that's actually something what we're dealing with here.
Sort of.
You know, it's crazy. I don't know. I personally, when I look at all this stuff, it makes me ill. You must, if you could take that level of aptitude and do something bad with it, you can do something good with it as well.
Well, I
so if you just get your head in the game and start thinking like a normal human being,
I think
you'd
that
be
speaks
okay.
to the whole thing, though, is that some smart people have put out, some smart bad guys have put out a platform for other not quite as smart bad guys to use it to do the same things.
Yep. So by the way, it's the Xinjiang group that created all this stuff. So it's XIN. That they are, man, it's just scary to me when you realize how many groups are under them and working with them, working for them. It's insane. I just really scratch my head with all this stuff, and I just wish people would just be real and human, get a job. And quite honestly, if they have that much talent, they could get a great job. Then they could do some great things. But they're being criminals. So criminal. I don't have much more to say about it. It's just, it's an ever-evolving thing, and it's really got a lot of light shed on it this past month. So, for those of you who haven't seen any of this yet, at least we're trying to give you a little heads up on that, and
You'll start noticing more about it.
At least you know where it's coming from. 99.9% of it is coming from. So it's about all I have to say, guys. You have anything else to bring to the table?
Not on that one.
All right. Hey, Slick Cyber Systems will help you out with anything you need, IT-wise, telephony-wise, 570-215-8888. Or you can reach us on the web at slickcybersystems.com. And my goodness, we have chat. We have our telephone number there. We've got, email forms. You can get in touch with us. We'll be glad to answer any questions that we possibly can. And if we can't, we'll send you to the people that we believe that can.
Yep.
Have a good one. Take care. If you find this content helpful, please like the video, subscribe, and share with your friends and your colleagues. Thank you.